Welcome to Global Reality. Let's get started.
The shocking incidents that we have had of the dog attacks in the past as well continue, and it's only getting more horrifying.
Two siblings were unfortunately mauled to death by stray dogs in South Delhi's Vasant Kunj.
Another shocking dog attack is being reported, this time from the state of Karnataka.
India bears the highest burden of human rabies deaths.
Another disturbing incident of a child being attacked by a pack of dogs.
Dogs, as we say, are man's best friend. Both the species, humans and dogs, being social animals, benefit mentally and physically in each other's company and have formed strong emotional bonds with each other since centuries. So much so that dogs are even considered a part of the family. The unconditional love for these canines comes from their loyalty, their protective and helpful nature. And while we are at it, let us not forget the indispensable dog squads used by many of our forces and how these drug sniffing and bomb sniffing canines have helped prevent crimes and saved lives. And if that wasn't enough, scientific studies have well documented evidences of the benefits of living with dogs, like longer lifespan, low risk of cardiovascular diseases, and less stress and less loneliness. But let me be very clear, these benefits are only applicable if the dog is well exercised, well fed, and has grown up in healthy and safe surroundings. Because this very species, if unguarded and vulnerable, can be a severe threat and risk to our well-being and safety. Like it or not, but dogs are by nature predatory, as they are subspecies of the grey wolf and they are also related to foxes and jackals. They are also extremely territorial and are known to attack even without a slightest provocation. Moreover, they roam about in packs, and any attack from a pack can not only be terrifying and traumatic experience but a severe threat to our lives. Recently, the cases of dog attacks in India are on the rise. In many cases, the victims being kids and even toddlers. They have been chased, mauled, dragged and bitten by a pack of dogs. Moreover, strays or street dogs as we call them in India are carriers of rabies, an untreatable and fatal deadly virus which is transmitted through the bite of a rabid animal, which is more often than not dogs. And trust me when I say this menace is going out of control and is turning out to be a life-threatening crisis. And this is no exaggeration. Globally, dog-transmitted rabies cause around 59,000 deaths annually. And what makes it even more scary is, according to the WHO, India alone accounts for 36% of global deaths due to rabies. Now you must be wondering, what makes India so prone to it? And the answer lies in the number that I am going to share with you. There are around 6.2 to 6.5 crore street dogs in India. That is around 4 dogs per 100 people. India had around 16 million cases of dog bites between 2019 and 2022 alone, averaging 10,000 dog bites every single day. A WHO report on India says that around 21,000 deaths due to rabies occur annually in India, with dogs being responsible for 99% of rabies transmission. The National Rabies Control Program reported nearly 6,644 clinically suspected human deaths by rabies only between 2012 and 2022. Every locality in our cities and towns have been taken under siege by unattended and sometimes even aggressive number of street dogs, which put not only the disabled and elderly but even innocent toddlers at risk. This begs the question, what is the reason behind street dogs being so high in numbers in India, and what can be done to control their population? But before we get into the controversial and uncomfortable discussion, it is important for us to understand that streets are not meant for dogs. And in the name of animal rights, letting them freely roam on the street is not animal love. In most Western countries, dogs are more than often loved and looked after by their owners as their own children, but they are strictly confined to their homes. You may never really find stray dogs roaming on the streets. If in any case the owner chooses to abandon them, the dogs are taken to dog pounds or adoption centers, where if not adopted within a specific time period, the dog is euthanized to create space for other dogs. On the other hand, in similar cases in India, owners abandon their dogs and leave them on the streets for them to survive on their own without any accountability whatsoever.
When a dog suddenly leaves the comfort of his home and he's on a street first, and then he lands in a shelter where there are around 350 dogs like him, where he has to, where he thinks that he has to fight for food, they become extremely either timid or aggressive.
Pedigree dogs are brought home when they are puppies, yet sometimes fate has something else in store for them. In some cases, people leave their dogs at the dog shelters or drop them off. Fear, pain, anxiety, abandonment, confusion, and longing are the emotions they undergo.
Anyone can afford having a dog. So when anyone can afford having a dog, not everyone can afford healthcare for their dog, right? So when their dog vaccinations are due, when they get sick, when they have, let's say, kidney issues, liver issues, stuff like that, when they go to a doctor and doctor says you have to spend 20,000, they don't have 20,000 to spend for a 2,000 rupee dog. The minute they realize that they have to spend money on those animals for their treatment, they just abandon their animals. When they go through that trauma, a lot of times, the temperament changes. They become biting dogs or they become timid dogs. And who wants a broken, timid or a biting dog, right?
While this is truly inhumane on so many levels, it is also one of the reasons for an increase in stray dog population. The other reason, and perhaps more prominent, is overfeeding of dogs. Experts have the opinion that as much as underfed dogs are an issue, overfeeding them is equally grave. And let me explain this. Dogs by nature are hunters or scavengers. Each dog tends to travel approximately 2 to 3 kilometers in search for food, which keeps them engaged and active. So when we habituate them with readily available food within a given locality, it begins to affect their mental instincts and they begin to get overly protective and territorial about the locality and start attacking anyone they presume as predators. But dog lovers refuse to admit that caring for street dogs and feeding them on regular basis is an act of misplaced priority at the cost of their own safety. But for those who still insist on feeding their dogs, it is advisable that you feed them at different places so that they are less aware of the territories and be less aggressive of guarding them. This is one possible way of reducing attacks. Another easy option is encouraging pet owners to keep their pets on leashes. Make sure that they are not only well fed but well exercised, vaccinated, spayed or neutered. Another and perhaps the most proactive approach can be promoting the adoption of native dog breeds. Native dogs not only tend to have stronger immune systems, but they also make as great and loyal pets as the foreign breeds. Last but not the least are efficient measures to adequately sterilize and vaccinate dogs to control their population. According to the Animal Birth Control Rules of 2001, the municipal bodies are responsible for sterilization and vaccination of stray dogs. The increase in number of stray dogs and cases of dog bites is a clear indication that municipal bodies are not doing enough. There are not enough animal birth control programs and dogs are often left unvaccinated and unsterilized, which leads to more puppies and hence an ever-increasing dog population. What we need is a dedicated team of authorities operating from efficiently divided zones of cities to deal with the crisis. And these authorities, with the help of citizens, the state government and NGOs, can ensure that at least 70% of dogs in each locality are vaccinated for rabies in order to ensure herd immunity. This will help bring down deaths related to rabies. There is also a severe need to create awareness through campaigns and vaccination drives, encouraging feeders and dog owners to bring their dogs for vaccination. Among other solutions that are suggested is euthanasia, or in simple words, easy and painless death with the use of injectable drugs. While the exercise is quick and peaceful, the ethics behind the practice is obviously questionable, as a dying animal has no influence over the decision. Also, it can be really painful for the pet owners. Nonetheless, there is also growing public anger regarding the growing number of strays, which has led to severe incidents of animal cruelty. There have been reports of mass culling of dogs in various locations across the country, which is a cause of deep concern. Legal provisions in our country permit the killing of animals that are either terminally ill or incurably wounded. Moreover, experts say mass culling is never a solution to the crisis, as the exercise needs proper mapping to identify and isolate dangerous dogs. Experts explain that there is a lasting impact if dogs are killed in massive numbers without considering the science behind it. In order to achieve herd immunity, it is necessary that nearly 70% of dogs of a particular locality are immune to rabies. So if we end up randomly culling dogs without mapping their immunity, we may end up culling dogs that are already immune, while the infected dogs get to survive. And this may result in rabies not only being a consistent challenge, but might grow double-fold in the future. A safer and much human option is the CVNR program adopted by the Netherlands, which means collect, vaccinate, neuter and return. Dutch laws mandate that every dog has to be neutered and spayed, and these procedures are to be funded by the government. There are fines for cruelty against dogs and dedicated special force to act in cases of animal cruelty. The United States accommodates stray animals into animal shelters, and they are not killed unless they are terminally ill. And this can be an option in India as well. But most Indian municipal bodies face immense financial crunch given that the funds are limited, and acquiring veterinary facilities, surgical infrastructure, post-operative care, kennels and dog transport vehicles and other necessary logistics is immensely expensive. And so the number of dogs keeps on growing rapidly. And even though citizens, the state government, municipal bodies and even judicial courts all agree that matter is indeed going out of hands, all the assurances and actions to curb and prevent the further escalation of the situation is only ending up in the list of poor promises of political parties, and we are left to manage our safety for ourselves. If you have any suggestions or experience to share with us, please let us know in the comment section below, and please subscribe and hit that bell icon for more such upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.